So, what happens when you finally lose the weight but still cry at your reflection? Annalise joins us to unpack the moment a viral video changed her life, the grief of losing her former self, and the raw truth about learning to love the body that once broke her heart. If you ever felt like surgery fixed your size but not your soul, this episode is for you. So, Annalise, thank you so much for joining Bariatric Paths. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Jatoya. I'm excited to be here with you.
Welcome back to Bariatric Paths, where we have real conversations about weight loss, the bariatric journey, and the mindset shifts that come with it. If you're new here, I'm Jatoya, and this space is for people navigating any weight loss journey in real life. Let's get into today's episode. All right. So, Annalise, let's go back to the moment that stopped you in your tracks. The moment you realized something had to change or your life could be cut short. What was it like carrying this self-hatred before you ever made the call to your surgeon?
Um, it was really hard. Life was hard just in general. I was in a abusive marriage. I was struggling in my body. I was struggling in my career, and I was just really lost as a person for a really long time. And then in 2020, I went through a divorce and I moved back in with my parents. And I was able to take time to reflect on what I wanted to be outside of a relationship and outside of a marriage and who I wanted to be as a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And it just got to a breaking point where I knew I had to make the change. But in order to make the change, I had to have that time where I learned how to love myself even before having surgery or surgery was always a consideration, but even before I got to that point, I truly had to love who I was, even at 330 pounds, because if you don't love yourself, it's really hard to want to change anything. As a mom and then becoming a single mom, I knew that I wanted to show up as the best version of myself for my son.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I couldn't do that while also not being able to play with him or getting winded going up the stairs or just lacking physical endurance in general. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it just all kind of came to a head. I went on Google and I just typed in bariatric surgeons near me. At night, it was probably like midnight or something. And then the next morning I called them and they were like, "Yeah, of course you can have a consultation. Let's check your insurance." And
I always said check
they
that
call,
first.
yep. And then they called me back 5 minutes later, and they were like, "You're totally approved." And then we made an appointment, and that was it. It was just that final decision to just get on my computer and just find someone to help.
What made you trust them?
Um, this might sound silly, but when you go on my surgeon's website, there was a picture of him and he just looked like such a kind soul. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, you can read people's faces, and he just looked like a truly
Absolutely.
kind person. And then once I called and spoke to them, they were so kind to me over the phone. And then once I finally had my consultation, they were just so much kindness. I've always said that my surgeon was like an answered prayer because not only did he help me, create my new lifestyle, but he was just always so kind and they believed in me from the very
Mm-hmm.
beginning and they just always were very positive. They were like, "You got this. You can do this. Like you're doing everything the right way."
Mm-hmm.
And even now when I go back for my post-op check-ins, he's always like, "You're a success and you've done so well." And like, it's never anything negative and he's just the kindest person I've ever met.
What was scarier, getting the surgery or staying the same?
Staying the same. Um, When I became a mom is when a lot of things changed for me, but it was really scary thinking about cutting my life short,
Mhm.
just because I was in a larger body. There was a creator I want to say it was on Instagram. He made a reel or something, and he said, "There's a reason you never see people in their 80s at 300 pounds. It's because they don't make it that long." And that
That's
just,
deep.
yeah, yeah, that got me. And there was never a point in my life where I was a healthy weight. I weigh less now than I did in 5th grade, which is crazy.
Mm. Mhm.
Um, So part of me felt like I was never going to accomplish the weight loss. Like it was just a goal that I chased for
Mhm.
20 years, and the yo-yo dieting and the crash diets and the losing 40 pounds and then gaining back 50 and then,
Yep.
back and forth. Like it was
Mhm.
hard, and it did a lot of damage to my body. And even now, my joints hurt, and there's certain things that I'm still working on fixing because I was just carrying so much extra weight for so long, and it does create long lasting damage to your body, but you can also heal it. And
Mhm.
that's what I've been able to discover throughout my journey, is that your body can heal, and your body is capable of so much more than you are even aware of. Like your body can do incredible things.
Exactly.
So,
You were saying, like, being a mom that helped with your motivation and your mindset. Because I know for me, I've always been plus size as well, but my main why was more for my kids and being able to be there for them more than me wanting it to lose weight for myself. How was that for you?
my son has definitely always been I call him my North Star.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And whenever I went through my divorce, he was only 2, and I never planned to be a single mom. Obviously, no one ever really
Mhm.
plans for that.
Yeah.
And so, because I was in such a low state and I was very lost in my life, I
Mhm.
had to step back and realize that he was the most important thing in my life. But in order to take care of him, I had to make sure I was taking care of myself.
Mhm.
And I wasn't doing that for a very long
Yeah.
time. I wasn't taking care of myself. And I think that the more I take care of me, the more I'm able to pour into him and
Mhm.
to give him um, of myself. Because when you're miserable and you're depressed and you are in pain and you don't want to get up and you
Mhm.
just like are just in like a state of self-hatred, like you can't be there for your kids.
Mhm.
All that negativity will pour out of you. And it was not towards my son, but just I was a very sad person for a very long time. So I knew.
'Cause as
Mhm.
it's funny because as moms, sacrifice so much for our babies. We almost forget about ourselves, and we just try to, like, struggle through it for them, but when they say, "Can't pour from an empty cup," like, that's what they mean. You still have to take care of yourself because taking care of yourself is taking care of for them and making sure they're okay, and I think that's a lesson that
Absolutely.
comes for me, it took me a very long time to learn that lesson.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. 'Cause that's what we're here for, especially as women. I feel like our purpose is to raise the next generation,
Mhm,
and in order to do that, we have to be the strong women that raise them.
mhm,
So, it's so important that you're pouring into yourself, and that's something I speak on a lot, on my page, is that you have to choose yourself in order for the people around you to get part of that, to get that positive energy, to be able to help other people. You have to take care of yourself, because when you're broken,
mhm,
there's nothing to give anybody else.
mhm,
Like, truly.
and I think coming to that realization that you are broken, I think is
Mhm.
also part of the journey. Because sometimes you just try to push, push, push that you don't even realize how bad or, what state you're really in, because 'cause you're not
Right.
really paying attention to yourself, you're just trying to get on to the next thing.
Mhm. Yep. It's a it's a part of the process, but once you can get past that,
Mhm,
it's like this beautiful transformation of being like, "Wow, like, I always had the power in me the whole time." And, I'm a Christian woman. I do believe in God, and I believe
mhm,
that, He was been with me every step of the way, even when I was lost, even when I was
mhm,
broken. He was there, and He was the one that picked me up and helped push me through.
absolutely.
And, as hard as the journey was, there is not one part of it that I regret at all. I am such a happier person now after having and it's not just like, "Oh, yeah, I had surgery, so I'm happier now." It's the finding my resilience and finding my strength and finding my purpose throughout it, and being able to look back and be proud of myself for all the things that I've accomplished, because I was obese my whole life, and I
Mm,
did and that was something I've struggled with for 30 years. I had the surgery when I was 31, so I was obese from kindergarten until I was 31 years old.
mhm,
It's so deeply conditioned into me to live that way too, and to like expect to be treated a certain way, and like there's so many things that you have to overcome throughout the journey, and it all really starts in your mind.
yes.
And being able to look back and be like, "Wow, I did that. I finally I conquered that one thing that haunted me my whole life, basically. I was able
Mhm.
to finally release the armor because I learned how to love myself.
It's such a mental journey. I don't think people
Mhm.
understand, like, the physical part, especially with the surgery, that's gonna happen, like,
Yeah,
but that mental work, you really have to be intentional, and I agree, your spiritual journey is, I feel like, the main factor of how you can get through that mental work to kinda help center yourself. So it's like all 3 of
100%.
them work together to make you
Yes.
a better person.
Yes,
So how much weight
absolutely.
did you end up losing?
I lost a total of 140 pounds.
Good
Thank you, thank you, thank
job.
you. The first 100 pounds came off super easy, but that last 40 was
Work
a little
for
bit
it.
harder. I wasn't even like, I'll be honest, it wasn't that hard because once you change your lifestyle, but, like, that first 100-pound comes off and you're like,
Mhm.
"Ooh, the weight's just coming off like hot butter," and then it slows
Yeah.
down and you're like everybody has that little panic after surgery.
Mhm.
They're like, "Oh no, I've stalled. My
Mhm. Like,
weight
am I
stalled."
done? Am I like, is this
Yeah.
it? Is this all I can do?
And then, in my mind, we all have that golden number that we're trying to get to, right? And,
Mhm.
I never made it to my goal weight. The
Mm.
lowest weight I got to was 188 pounds, which was exactly 140 pounds, lost. And I was talking to my surgeon last time I saw him, and I was like, I really would like to get down. I would like to keep losing weight. And I was like, I'm struggling losing those last 10 pounds and, I'm, doing everything I'm supposed to, but and he was just like, sometimes we have these golden numbers in our head and maybe they're just a number and
Mhm.
maybe you've done really well for yourself. And he's like, you have to ask yourself, is it mentally worth it for me to keep pushing myself to get to that lower number just because it's
Mhm.
something that I came up with in my head? Or am I going to be happy with the success that I've already proven that I've done, that I've like accomplished? So I was happy with the 140 pounds. And then we talked about, after plastics, because I do have so much loose skin. He was like, you'll probably end up losing the weight just from
That's what
skin
my
loss.
doctor said. My doctor said,
So,
like, 15 pounds of skin, so you're fine.
yeah,
And I'm just
yeah,
like,
exactly.
"Okay."
Oh, but I want it to come off.
Yeah, it's like I'm exactly at the same place you are. I just did my
Mhm.
2 year, and I really wanna get under 200, like, I just wanna get I don't know why, but I really wanna get in Wonderland, and
Yeah.
at 217, and I've been at 217 for, like, months now, and he's just like, "Realize you lost 20 points on your BMI?" Like,
Yeah.
"Care about 17 pounds, like, you're doing
Yeah.
amazing," and I'm like, "Yeah, but still."
But I want to get down to that number that I came up with
Yeah,
in my head.
exactly. I
Yep.
completely get that. So
Yep.
most people think losing weight is all about celebration, but you said it can come with grief. What were you grieving and why did it hit so hard?
So, le- um, like we were talking about, I was obese my whole life, like
Mhm,
my whole life, and I struggled with not loving myself and then getting to a point where I truly do love myself and I'm in love with my life and I can move my body and I'm pain free. Like looking back at the girl that I used to be, like she deserved so much more. She deserved the love that I give myself now. She deserved the mobility, pain-free lifestyle, being able to take care of myself, and she didn't deserve to be treated the way she allowed herself to be treated. We can sit here, we can, "Oh, those people abused me," or "Those people did this," but, like, at the end of the day, we're choosing that. Even if we're not consciously choosing it,
mm,
we're allowing people to treat us that way. It's sometimes really hard for me to look back at my old self. Like, I even struggle telling new people that I've lost weight. Like, I guess if you look at me, it's obvious.
mhm,
But I struggle with telling people, like, and I'm proud of it, and I'm so open with it on TikTok and, like, with people that are close to me, but when I meet new people, it's not the first thing out of my mouth. I'm not like, "Oh, yeah, by the way, I lost 140 pounds, like, I used to be over 300 pounds." Like, sometimes I don't wanna tell tell them at all because I
mhm,
think I fear, like, rejection for even a past version of myself, which is something I'm working on, and also, my past version of myself doesn't deserve that because that's who I was, and she's still me. Like, we're the same person, so that is something I'm working on, but, just yeah, the grief of how I used to be treated and how I treated myself. Like, I never deserved that, you know?
mhm,
Um, and some people, um, were able to celebrate themselves for the beginning. And one thing I tell people all the time is make sure you're documenting the beginning of your journey because you're going to want that to look back on. But even after I had the surgery, I was still struggling with self-shame, and I didn't take a lot of pictures. I didn't
Mm,
take a lot of videos because I still had that belief, like, what if this doesn't work? You know?
yeah.
Like, what if I get the surgery and I don't lose the weight? Like, I'm just gonna have more before pictures that are, but I've been able to overcome that and yeah, I stick up for myself a lot better now, even when it's my own thoughts.
Mhm.
I named that little negative voice in my head. Her name is Vanessa. And I'm sorry I'm sorry if you have any Vanessas that you like. I don't personally know anyone named Vanessa, so it worked for me. But Vanessa she could be a mean girl.
Mhm.
And sometimes we just have to tell Vanessa to shut up,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
our biggest critic can be in our head
Yep,
100% of the time.
absolute
So,
absolutely.
before we jump back into the episode, I wanted to tell you something really special we've been building. Echoes of You Wellness Fest. And it is happening September 19th at the Kroc Center in Atlanta, Georgia. This isn't just another event. It is a space for real people navigating wellness, weight loss, healing, identity shifts, movement, confidence, all of it. And we're bringing together community, conversations, resources, and experiences designed to remind you that your journey matters and you don't have to figure this out alone. So if you're craving connection, support, inspiration, or honestly, just a room of people who get it, I want to see you there. You can get updates, ticket info, vendor opportunities, and more at www.bariatricpaths.com or www.echoesofyoufest.com. I hope to see everyone there. Now let's get back to the episode. You work through the guilt of going and reflecting on the way you used to treat your body and yourself.
Yeah. By pouring more love into my body, by intentional movement. I think that the more I focus on healing my relationship with myself, the more I thrive and the more I'm able to move my body and the more that I'm able to get stronger. So it's all cyclical, right? But I make it fun too. I try really hard to make it fun and I try to glorify God through movement because we were all
Mm,
blessed with these beautiful bodies that are capable of so much. And even though I've had so many low days, I've also had really, really good days. And I've had the same body through every single one of them. Like this
mhm,
body has carried me through every trial and tribulation of my life, every celebration, every happy moment, the birth of my child, everything. It's the body that I walk in every day and pouring more love into myself helps me realize that I don't have to feel guilty about it because I'm learning and I'm able to look back and say, I didn't deserve that and I'm going to do better for myself now.
mm,
And another big thing I do is affirmations. I journal. I did it a lot more in the beginning of my journey. I've slacked on it lately and it shows. But journaling and writing down affirmations every day was a huge part of being able to center myself and to learn how to love myself. And it started with 10 things I was grateful for every day. I would just make a list of what I'm grateful for. And in the beginning, when I first started, I would put things like air or like fresh water or, a clean bed, like just anything I can think of to just be grateful for. Cause when you're so far, like low, like the best thing you can do is just to be grateful for anything. And I
mhm,
started ten things a day and, then that list got longer and longer, and I was able to articulate a deeper meaning to what I was putting down. I'm grateful for the life I get to live. I'm grateful for all the opportunities that are coming my way. I'm grateful for releasing weight. I'm grateful for paying off debt. Just anything I could think of, I would write
mhm,
down that I was grateful for, and then that turned into affirmations. I am strong. I am courageous. I am capable of hard things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And just putting it on paper and like replaying that in your head is so strong. And I feel like if I could just tell everybody about it, I would because it changed my life so much. But I think that's truly what helped me more than anything was just sitting down and realizing everything I had to be grateful for and that life was good. Even when it felt low, it was still really, really good.
mhm. You mentioned that you had to forgive yourself over and
Mhm.
over again. How did that play? You were reflecting and going through your journaling. Is that something you have to think about as well?
Absolutely. Forgiveness is really hard for a lot of people. It was hard for me, I will say that. I have struggled with forgiving myself, and sometimes, um, I like to ask myself future questions.
Mm,
I'm trying to, like, think of one that I write down, like, "What would my highest self do in this situation?" And you look at it from not where you are right now, but from where you wanna be. So,
I like that.
let's say that, I'm struggling with something or I'm having a disagreement with somebody, and I want so badly to go back to old habits and just snap on them, or, say something that I would probably regret saying or something like that, you know? I can say, "What would my higher self do in this moment? If I could act for my higher self, what would she do? How would she show up? What would that look like to show up in kindness and, to just a more controlled manner?" So when I think about where I wanna go as far as, like, my fitness journey, right? I can say, "Where do I wanna be in a year from now? What does that girl look like?" And then I can think about who I wanna be in a year from now. Like, what am I focusing on? Am I focusing on mobility? Am I focusing on nutrition? Am I focusing on starting to run? Things like that. And when you're able to look at things from the future perspective, you can almost make a plan to get there. But going back to forgiveness and being able to forgive myself, it's like, okay, like, I was mean to myself today. What would be a better way for me to handle this next time? Like, let's say I wasn't as strong at the gym today, right? Like, let's say I couldn't figure out my form on something, and the old me would have beat myself up and been like, "Ah, don't do that again. That was cringy. That was embarrassing. Like, that was a
Mm,
weird move that you did at the gym because we're always trying new things." And I could be like, "No, like, you're allowed to take up space. You're allowed to show up fully as you are." Even today, I wore, a shirt that was, I still have my gym clothes on. Um I wore a shirt that showed a little bit of my midriff, and I got a little insecure, and I was
mhm,
like, "Oh, man, like, I should put my hoodie back on," and I was like, why does anyone care what I have on? Why do I care what I have on? I'm allowed to wear whatever I want because everybody is here just working on their body, and nobody's
mhm,
focused on what I have on." And I think if you can just talk to yourself in a kind way,
mhm.
that forgiveness just becomes part of it.
Forgiveness and grace
Mhm.
all wrapped up in one.
Yes,
Every
absolutely.
day. Absolutely, I love that. Let's talk about you mentioned running, and I
Mhm.
know you've done, like, some marathons and 5Ks. How did body dysmorphia steal that joy in the moment?
Mm.
I'm just excited if I could run a lap. I haven't, I'm been a big girl all my life, we don't run, okay? So I was just like,
Right.
"Woo, I did a lap." You did a 5K and you were sad? Like, what happened?
I totally get that though. I did not run for a really long time, and I've been wanting to run more. So I've been running on the treadmill, and like there have been days where I ran on the treadmill and I would just start crying because
Mm,
I was just so uh, deeply moved by the fact that I could like just being able to run and being on the treadmill and running a mile is coming from someone that was 330 pounds and had never done that before
mhm,
and had never been athletic or anything like that. It makes me really, really emotional. But okay, so I'm at the gym normally. I don't really talk to people. I have my headphones in. I'm in my own little world, right? And then when we did the 5K, it was my sister and I, and then we took her daughter and my son. And I was just having anxiety from like the moment I got there, just being around so many people.
mm,
Um, and that also stems from just, like, self-rejection and, being big my whole life and, like, expecting people to react to my body just because that was what I was used to, you
mhm,
know? And, the 5K was fine, like, my son didn't wanna run the whole thing, so we ended up walking, like, the last 2 miles, and, um I guess I was having anxiety because I wanted to go faster and I wanted to beat my time, but I had to slow down for him, which was fine. And then right at the end, my sister took a picture of me. And I think the only reason my brain went here was because I was already having anxiety from just being around so many people and running in like a large group and like
Mhm.
having to chase my son and then carry him. Like it was just a lot. I was maybe overstimulated more than anxiety.
Mhm.
And she took a picture of me and I just like flipped out. I was like, "Oh my God, I look huge in this picture." My loose skin just it was just the angle of the picture. My
Yeah.
shirt was just hitting me the right way, and I was
Mhm.
like, "I look huge in this picture. I don't want to look at it." And then I just started bawling my eyes out. Like I couldn't believe that I just went and ran a 5K, or I tried my best to run a 5K, and
Mhm.
I had done all that and then I just fell apart. I just like cried in the car and I was like, "I can't believe I look like that." And um she was not taking me seriously at all. She was, like, almost laughing. She was like, "Oh my god, what is wrong with you?" Um, but, like, in that moment, I truly went back to that old feeling of, like, that I'm not happy with the way I look or, like, people are judging me or whatever those old thoughts that I used to have. And it took me a couple days to go back and look at the pictures because I had to give myself grace in that moment, and I was like, "Okay, yes, you can see my loose skin in this picture. Yes, I look a little bigger in this picture than I do in normal pictures. I'm wearing a hoodie." And I had to, like, look at it and be like, Girl, you just ran a 5K. You're, like, holding up your medal. Like, you did that." You
Yeah.
know? But and it seems so silly when I talk about it now, but that day, I was, like, devastated. Like, that really is like some body dysmorphia will steal your joy if you let it, and you really have to,
Mhm.
like, stay on top of it. But I also think that stemmed from me not following my program like I should. Like, maybe I was having a little bit of self-guilt from, not taking my vitamins the right way one day or, like, feeling like I wasn't getting enough protein or not tracking for a couple days. And it all just kinda piles up on you, and that just comes back to giving yourself grace. Like, this is a journey, it's not a destination, and
Mhm.
I'm unconditioning 30 years of trauma basically, 'cause,
Yeah.
being obese in a
In America is trauma.
it's trauma. You get it, you get it. Like,
Yes.
there's so much trauma that comes along with that, even if it's just, like, the way people treat you or, like, even
Mhm.
childhood trauma, like, stuff from my childhood still, like, I'm still
Yeah,
unpacking that with my
absolutely.
therapist, you know?
A chair
Um
I've had a chair broke in school when I was, like, 3rd, 4th. Still, like, now, even to this day, I always just gingerly sit because God
Yep.
forbid it breaks in front of everyone. Like, the
Yeah.
trauma, I completely understand. Even like you said, like, just noticing, like, thinking that everyone's looking at you, like, because
Yeah.
it's kinda like when you were big, everyone was looking at you. So it's kinda
Yep.
hard now to, like, think, like, no one's thinking about you. You just like, "They all looking at me still. They trying to figure
Yep.
out how much more I'm gonna lose." Like, I completely get it. I
Mhm.
understand. It's
Yep.
a mindset.
Yeah, I have broken a couple chairs in my day too, girl, especially,
Okay.
the fold-out camping chairs.
Yeah, the little cheap
Yep.
chairs. It's like, I need some sturdy.
Yes. For a very long time in my life, I was always checking the weight limit on things,
Yes. Mhm.
always, always, and I don't have to do that anymore, and that
Mhm.
still that blows my mind that that's who I was for so long.
Feel like, because you were saying, like, how you might have went up a little bit or just looked a little. Because I know for me, I noticed that now when it's around that time of the month, I get bloated. Probably have
Mhm.
always gotten bloated, but I just never noticed it when I was bigger. So now that I'm smaller and I see myself getting bloated, I kind of freak out like, "Oh my gosh, am I back on the road to becoming that big bag? Like, is she coming? Like, is everything about to, like, spiral out of control?" Feel like that a little bit, kinda like when you saw that
Absolutely.
picture, you're just like, "Oh my gosh, she's coming back. Who cares I ran a 5K, she's about to come eat a cupcake."
Yep. Yes, and I try not to fear that because that's not gonna happen. I just feel
Mhm,
like it is so easy to look back and be like, "Oh my god, she's gonna come back. I'm gonna gain the weight back." But, like,
mhm,
they say your fears will come get you, basically. So I don't like to be afraid of that because I don't believe that that will happen for me. I truly
mhm,
believe that the surgery fixed that for me. I try not to focus on that could happen, and I think it's more of me chasing, just always chasing a lower number because that was what was conditioned in me for so long.
Exactly.
We're always losing weight, right? That was, like, the goal was to lose weight. I gotta lose 40 pounds. I gotta lose 100 pounds. I gotta lose, however
Mhm.
much, and I'm trying really hard to just, like, at this part of my journey, to just be happy where I am. Like, even
Mm.
if I have 10 pounds to lose,
Mhm.
excuse me. Do I really have 10 pounds to lose? Am I unhappy with where I am now? Like, you truly have to ask yourself that, like, will chasing that lower number bring me happiness, or am I happy with where I am now? Because I still would like to get plastics. I wanna get, a little bit of work done, but I'm really happy with where my body is right now,
Mm.
even though I'm not at my goal weight.
Exactly. 'Cause have
I'm
you ever been this
stronger.
weight before? Like,
No.
so
No, girl. No. No, I have not, and, and I have to think about that sometimes too, like, I was over 300 pounds for so long,
Mhm.
um, and I felt like I would never not be. So being at the weight I am now just blows my mind, like, I can walk into any store and just shop. That still is really hard for me,
Mhm.
and, I don't think I realize how hard it is until I try to go buy clothes, and then I'm like, "I've never been in this store before." I
Mhm.
still try to go to Torrid all the time,
Ashley Stewart, I still get those emails. I'll be like, "There's nothing
yeah.
at Ashley Stewart that I need."
Yeah, girl.
So I get it. I get
I'll
it.
go into Torrid and I'll be like, "Maybe the double zero will fit me." Like, I don't and it's too big, and I'm like, "Am I delusional? Like, do I not
Mhm.
realize what size I am?" Um, I bought a size 10 in pants the other day. I was a 24 for over 10 years, so
Same.
that's so
24,
crazy.
26. So yeah.
Yep,
Mhm.
26 if you wanted them comfy. And,
Exactly. You want to be able to
yep.
eat afterwards.
Mhm, exactly. So yeah, that all still blows my mind. I'm still not sure what size bra I wear, I
I don't
guess.
know what size clothes because I feel like I'm at an extra large and everyone's just like,
Mhm.
no, that's and I'm just like, but I don't
It's
know.
too big.
I have not gotten to where it's like, okay, I'm a medium or a large. Like I gotta give the X. I need some kind of X in my size right now.
Yes.
So and we went shopping and we went to Victoria's Secret and I was just like, lotions, perfumes. And
Yeah.
then I was like, oh wait, there's a couple of things like some athletic gear. There's stuff here. Wasn't even thinking about it. It was my friend. I was like, do you see any leggings? They have some leggings. And I was just like automatic, like, girl, ain't nothing here gonna fit me. And then it was like, oh yeah, fit me now.
Yeah,
So it's definitely kind of
absolutely.
like a work thing. You don't really process it as much. Okay, Bariatric Paths family, it's officially time. I am so excited to finally announce Echoes of You Wellness Festival, a brand new in-person wellness experience happening September 19th, 2026 at the Salvation Army Kroc Center in Atlanta, Georgia. And listen, this is not one of those perfect wellness events where everyone is acting like healing is easy. This is going to be for real people, real journeys, real struggles, and real growth. Whether you're post-op, pre-op, no-op, rebuilding your confidence, trying to find yourself again, or just learning how to take care of yourself for once, this space is for you. We're bringing together wellness, community, movement, vendors, conversations, resources, and people who truly understand what it feels like to fight for your health and your peace. Because healing isn't just physical. And honestly, a lot of us are craving connection with people who get it. We get it, right? So I wanted to create a space where we can walk in, feel comfortable, supported, inspired, and seen. And we have done that. So mark your calendars for September 19th, Echoes of You Wellness Fest in Atlanta, Georgia at the Kroc Center. For updates, tickets, vendors, sponsorship, head over to bariatricpass.com or echoesofyoufest.com. We're just getting started, and I cannot wait to experience this with you all. I hope to see everyone there. This episode may end here, but the journey doesn't. Parallel Paths is the Bariatric Paths membership for people who want continued support, real conversations and connection beyond the podcast. If that sounds like what you need right now, go to www.bariatricpaths.com and see if the community feels like the next right step for you. Remember, your journey is yours, but you are not alone. Go out there and crush it. Bye. This podcast is for support and inspiration only. It is not medical advice. Always talk to your doctor or care team about what's right for you.